Hello my beautiful friends and welcome to Tailor Made Beauty by Kris. Today I am going to review the brush set that is the collaboration between Angie Hot and Flashy and BK Beauty. I love Angie Hot and Flashy. For me, she is the OG. I started my channel because of Angie. She's the first person like I ever watched on YouTube. I think I was thinking about getting my first IPL, and I found Angie and I just started watching her and I love her. And you know, she's almost at 1 million subscribers, which is fantastic. And if for some strange reason you have never watched Angie Hot and Flashy, please do check her out. And BK Beauty, right? That was partially started by Lisa J. I really like her. I have BK Beauty brushes. I like them. So while I really thought maybe Angie's first collab with anybody would be in makeup, when I saw it was brushes, and especially a set that is largely an eye set, I was super excited. Let me tell you a little bit about the brushes before I get into my demo where I use all of them. You get 7 brushes and they sell for $125. There are lots of codes out there for 10% off, including Angie 10, so that brings the price down a little bit. And yes, it's a lot of money, $125, but for 7 brushes, that really does bring the per brush cost down to something reasonable. What it says is that these are 100% cruelty-free vegan fiber. Okay, read, they're synthetic. They say it gets you a more consistent fiber with less breakage. They have a luxurious feel and flawless performance, and superior pickup and payoff. We'll see about that. In the set, you get a lid shader, a crease shader, a blender, a detailer, a shimmer brush, a concealer brush, and an angled brush. Let's see how they perform. The first brush I'm going to use is the A506. This is a concealer brush that was modeled after the BK Beauty 101, their foundation brush. So it is beveled like that, and Angie says that it's designed to fit really nicely into the eye area. So I'm curious, I'm doing the Armani, the Power Fabric Concealer today. I have already primed my face. And as I have said many times before, I am not a big concealer user. But when I do use it, I tend to use a small, damp beauty sponge. Just because I don't have a decent concealer brush. So this actually does really fit into the inner corner very nicely. And that appears to have laid down the concealer very, very seamlessly. Let me take a closer look. Yes, it has done a nice job. There are no brush marks, no bristle marks. I'm going to use the extra around my nose here. I have applied my foundation and my powder, and this set does not include any brushes for that. So moving on to the next brush, this is the A507, and as you can see, it's an angled, big fluffy brush designed for blush. And what Angie says is you put the product at the tippy end and let the rest of the brush do the blending. I have picked my Tom Ford blush. This is in shade Inhibition 06 because I find this a challenging blush to work with. I tend to get too much color down, and I've learned to just do a really light hand with a big fluffy brush when I want to use this. So I was really curious how this factor would work with this blush, and I will say that it's nice. Now, as I mentioned, these are synthetic bristles, vegan, if you will, but they're very soft. They do a nice job. I like how that, yeah, I will say that I like how that laid down blush. So you can kind of see here how much I've picked up and where I'm placing it. And then, so initially when I put the blush down, I used just the tippy end of it. And now that I'm working it in and blending it in, I'm using the full brush. Did that make sense? I think so. Hope so. Okay, well, that's nice. I do, yeah, I like that blush brush quite a bit, and I think it did a really nice job. Let's get into the heart of this collection, which are the eye brushes. Let's start with the crease shader, the 502. It's quite a bit larger than the MAC 221, which is my go-to for my crease. Angie says that because a lot of us are cheating our crease up to give us the illusion of more eyelid, hence lifting, that's why this is a little bit bigger. Let's see. Also, I wanted to pick a palette that was not impossible, but also wasn't like super easy to work with. And so Buxom Boss Babe Betty, an oldie but a goodie. I love the colors, super fantastic fall colors. Certainly a workable palette, but doesn't just blend itself. And there is a nice crease shade in here. And I am going to start up high. I will say, because it's a larger crease brush, it did pick up, it picked up more product than I'm used to, and it's putting down a wider swatch than I'm used to. Having said that, if you worked really carefully and just used the tip of this brush, you could probably get a finer look out of it. I went in with more. So, okay, so the synthetic bristles are feeling a little more stiff than what I'm used to with my natural bristle brushes, be that my Wayne Goss, my Sonia G. Yeah, I'm not saying that they're stiff. I am saying that they are stiffer than what I'm used to. Having said that, it did a nice job. It put down good color. It blended it in well. Let's move on to the lid shader brush. This, to me, seems like a really big brush. But again, Angie was saying because a lot of us are trying to maximize that, give an optical illusion that you need something this big to do that. And I am going to go into this matte light cream color here. And, you know, it certainly does put down a lot of product very quickly. So that's, you know, that's a good thing. I am liking the feel of this brush. better than I liked the feel of that crease shader brush. I think some of it, it's got a nice density. It's, you know, when I want to put down a lot of lid color, I don't want a soft, fluffy brush. I want something that's going to put down that shadow. And so, yes, I will say there, it is doing a nice job, and I like that. Now let's move into the detailer. This is the 504. This is much more like the size that I would normally use for my crease. And I'm going to go into this kind of brown burgundy color, and I'm going to try to have a light hand and go out, start out here and work it down. I do like the size of this brush better. Having said that, you know, I have been experimenting with smaller brushes, and I am liking smaller brushes. I feel like they give me more control. All right, I am not loving how this is going on. You can see I got a skip right in there, and I feel like it kind of got away from me. Now, how much of that is brush? How much of that is user error? I'm going to say 50-50. If I'm being really honest, it's about 50-50. I am not blown away by these brushes. This blending brush also feels a little stiff to me. So it blended nicely. I do like how that blending brush performs. Having said that, it didn't feel great. I am going to do a little bit more out here in the outer corners. It did really feel like it was working my mature eyelids, and I'm not sure that that's really what I'm going for. Blend that in. Okay, let's try that shimmer brush. This is a long, flat brush. Angie was saying if you don't use shimmer eyeshadow, you can use this to transfer product. Like if you put concealer on the back of your hand and then put it on. I was going to say I have a brush like this in my collection, and it is it's a concealer brush. So, but let's do what are we doing here? I'm going to go into this upgrade shade, and I'm going to work it in there pretty good. And oh, okay. Wow. That now I'm curious. Is it the shadow? Is it the brush? Because the payout from this is no bueno. So let's do an experiment. Let's go in with our finger on this side. And boom. Yeah, okay. This was with a finger. This is with a brush. And I think you can completely see the difference. I'm going to give it one more try. You see, I really am packing that color in there, and it really, yeah, I gotta say that one pass with my finger was worth 3 with the brush. Not loving the shimmer brush. In fact, I'm just going to go back to my fingers to finish this look, and then I'll come back to you. Well, I'm so sad to say that these brushes were super disappointing. I checked my brushes in my bathroom, and I have a cup of the ones that I use all the time, and I have BK eye brushes in there. I really like them. These sadly were stiff. I mean, I guess this lid shader I could see in my rotation, and I really did like the concealer brush and the blush brush, but I don't see using these four. And for a set that's $125, I'm so sorry to say that it was a disappointment. So, my opinion, save your money. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a lovely day.